Hi guys, welcome back to Bwoyatingz podcast. This is episode number 8. We have 2 more episodes left for the end of the season. Thank you for the support thus far. I can't believe the season is actually coming to an end already. Well, the next 2 episodes are pretty entertaining, I must say. Big up on himself, Martin, the Bamcast. He has podcast services offering. So if you guys also want to rent cameras and microphones and stuff like that, he also have that service as well. So we're at Cattleya Perfect 10, located at shop number 19 inside the Ligani Post Mall. But they're actually relocating, as I said to you in the previous video, and they'll be going to Southdale Plaza. And on the 27th of this month, 27th of October, is their customer service / anniversary / relocation day, right? So on that day, we'll be at the new location in Southdale Plaza. And as of the 23rd to October 30th, they're actually having 50% off all procedures. The last time I said off all products, but no, it's actually off all procedures, 50% off. You understand? They're also renting out the booths inside the Ligani Post Mall location. So if you guys want to make an appointment and come look at the spaces. So if you're a lash tech, if you do nails, if you do foot and foot things, them, you can come and you can, get the space rented. You understand? And remember, my radio show is on every Tuesday night on News Talk 93 FM, 8 to 11 p.m. All right. So to get into this episode, I've had this conversation multiple times on social media about the education system or lack thereof in Jamaica. And, there are a lot of things that teachers, educators, in general are going through with the lack of resources, with now COVID and, the kids actually learning from home. So there are a lot of things that needs to be addressed, and I don't think that they're being addressed enough. So initially, this conversation was supposed to be with Mr. McIntyre here, Macky, yeah, and another teacher of mine. However, she could not be present today. She is somebody who is more seasoned. What do you call him? Senior teacher? Yeah. She's a more senior teacher. She's taught me 20 years ago. So just, yeah, understand. But she couldn't make it today, unfortunately. So hopefully, Macky can actually go into everything. I have a lot of questions here today. Another teacher also sent me some questions. Big up yourself, Shari. She sent me some questions, things that needs to be addressed. So hopefully we can get into everything in this one episode. So here to my right is Joel McIntyre. He's a teacher at the Roger Clark High School in St. Elizabeth, and he's also the owner of Scripted Jamaica, which is an online. What exactly is Scripted Jamaica?
It's a document agency where we revamp resumes, cover letters, any written document. We also tutor math and English. Yeah, so. And
you guys do like IAs and SBAs and stuff like that? Yeah.
We help out the college students with their research papers and stuff like that.
So if it is that I come to you and I have like an essay that I want help with, you guys can write that?
Yes, we can help to write it. We can also write it, and helping and writing it. 2 different.
Okay, point taken. Yeah. So where we can find the page? It's Scripted Jamaica, right?
Scripted JA.
Scripted JA.
On Instagram, Scripted Jamaica on Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, Facebook, love that.
Facebook is for the older folks.
All right, so are you ready for this discussion, sir?
Well,
for the most part. All right, so Macky, he teaches at the Roger Clark High School once again, and that's located in St. Elizabeth. So, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
There is a lot of things that I have to say and to discuss as it pertains or relates to the education system in Jamaica. I think that we're far behind as it relates to the foundation and structure and a lot of things that have been out of whack, to say the least, from I've been going to school till now, and I don't see any improvement. So this conversation hopefully can open, other conversations, and things can be addressed. So to get into it, Macky, you are a teacher now for how long?
4 years going.
4 years. So I won't share your age on on the platform, but you're pretty young. Why teaching though? Why did you get into teaching in the first place?
Well, to be honest,
yes.
I did not necessarily love teachers, but I had one teacher who was always looking out for me. And I always share my story. I was not a good reader. Couldn't do anything properly. Maths, English, nothing. No core area subject.
Right.
She sat down with me in the afternoons, Miss Barnes. She started teaching me in grade 2. And she stuck with me and she said, I'm going to teach you how to basically phoneme words. So words with S blends and stuff like that. I usually mix up B and D, and it was years after when we found out that was dyslexia. So
and at what age was this?
This was around 8.
8, and you were reading at what? Like at age 3 level? Wow. And she took the time out to ensure that you got it together.
She definitely did.
Yeah. You said something on a space that I had the other day, that when you started to teach, which was at the Troy High School in Trelawney. Okay. And your success rate at the first year that you were a teacher, what was that like?
It was high, extremely high.
Yeah.
77%. The students' reading levels were jumping. So you had students reading at the grade 3 level when you just came or lower. Because you have pre-primer, which is, basic school.
Right.
And these are the students who are in grade 9. So you have grade 9 students who are reading at
basic school level.
And you had students jumping from pre-primer to grade 5. And you might say, oh, that's not a big jump, he's in high school. No, but for me, that's progress. And I am grateful for progress. Then, they have 5 years of high school. So if that student is in first form and he's reading at K1, probably by grade 10, I have him at grade 10 level, and that's
wow. Love that. What subjects or what level right now are you teaching? Is it 7th graders?
I teach grade 7 to grade 9.
Grade 7 to 9. So persons who have left your programs are under your wings, right? They did CXC.
That. So we have City and Gaze, we have CSEC, we have Heart.
Yeah.
This might sound awakening, but not everybody is going to reach the level you want them to reach. Because, for example, I might have a student who goes up by a grade level and he's reading at the grade 4 level, and he's now going to grade 10. Now he's out of my care. And he's now going to read at the grade 5 level, but being at grade 10 is not enough. So in that case, I might feel like I have failed.
Right.
Sometimes these students, it's not reading for them. Sometimes the vocational area that they want to venture off into, but that reading is a skill that you must.
Reading is fundamental. Yeah. Wow. All right. So Shari sent me, and Shari as well. So Shari sent me a lot of questions, and I don't think that even for my questions, I don't even think that I'm going to get to ask all of them. Right? So she broke them down into subcategories, which I really love. So we're going to start off by speaking about salary and benefits, right? Because when all of us were going to school, we thought that teachers were making a lot of money. But when we get older now and we kind of understand that the money that the teachers were telling us that they were making, it's not really money. So not to get in a business, but to get in a business, how much money do you currently make? If you can share like a ballpark figure. After taxes per month or before taxes per month.
Just being frank.
Yeah.
Say 140.
140 per month. And then you guys were sharing something on a space that stuck out to me the other day, that when you start to teach, you start at what rate?
All right. So we start, say for instance, you don't start with your degree in hand. Say you're coming from a university that hands out your degree, say in November.
Right.
The school year begins in September. If you get a job and your degree is pending, you're going to get a rough $65,000.
So I'm here teaching children. I run up and down, I do lesson plan,
definitely.
I print paper, I do exam, I mark things, all it for $65,000. I never do it.
But
I tell the truth.
Yeah, but if you're going to do it,
who's going to do it? Okay.
Who's going to do it? That's it.
So then $65,000 per month, and that is now after you've gotten your degree, but not the actual physical copy of the degree.
And after you get a degree, say it's almost times 2. Almost. It's not fully times 2.
Right. So before we even go to the times 2 thing, I'm still stuck on the $65,000. But my thing is this, right? So I leave Micro Teachers College, wherever. And I then present you with a transcript.
Yes.
And where do I send it to? The Ministry of Education?
All right, so you give, say, the secretary at the school.
At the particular school?
Yes, and it will be faxed or sent to the ministry.
The ministry.
Whatever region that you're on. So if I am on region 5.
Right.
Region 5.
So then they would have proof that I completed my studies. But I just don't have the physical copy.
The thing is, you can complete your studies and have not collected your degree.
Right, but then, and that's my point, because if you're going to get a transcript, it would indicate that I completed my studies and I passed. Yes? So that technically I'm awarded the degree, but I'm just not awarded my degree physically. So then I would have to go through the program of kind of like probation then, so to speak, right? So I mean, I get $65,000. And how long can that period run? Come on, pay attention to the people, because when me eat is that day, I need a job.
Kareem, for me, that program went 3 years.
So you're getting $65,000 for 3 years?
So I was getting $65,000 for 3 years. Basically, I was getting $65,000.
So why does it take so long for you to be approved in the system as an official teacher?
I cannot answer.
So did you take 3 years to get your physical awarded degree?
No. You have to go through JTC. So that's the Jamaica's Teachers Council.
Yes.
You send them your qualifications and they vet it for you. And even after that, it might take a while. I have seen teachers receive their call it your pay, full pay, in as the shortest time I've ever seen Kareem, to be honest with you, is 9 months, which is a next school year.
So my question is to you, and maybe you would know more than me, right? The disconnect now, as it pertains or relates to, I am handing you now the physical copy, because then you're telling me first that, okay, it's a procedure, fine?
Yeah, man.
So the procedure is, you have to have the physical copy to start getting your actual factual pay.
That's what they say.
But then I'm giving you now, I gave you the physical copy. Why is it taking you so long to approve me as an official teacher?
Ministry. I think government-owned institutions overall just sloppy. Period. There's no nice way to put it. It is sloppy.
So do you get the remainder of your funds?
Yes, you do.
After the fact.
But the more the sum, the more the tax.
The more the tax. So then after the 3 years, so then we will now calculate. So hey, you're going to make $130,000 per month, which means that it's $65,000 per month, and then multiply it and add up all the sum.
All of the tax.
And the tax slap it away. Okay. So it took you 3 years before you can actually get your physical.
Yes.
Your correct pay. All right. You spoke about some tiers things and entry 1, level 1, and all examined. What are the different tiers of teachers?
All right. So I am not cognizant of all of them.
Right.
But I know of myself as a junior teacher, senior teacher. Then you move up the ranks. It's junior teacher 1.
Junior teacher, how long can you be a junior for?
I have seen people be a junior teacher for years. It's an appointment.
By whom?
I think administration. It's
at the particular school?
Yes, it's something I had learned, that it's by appointment. It's how you perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you and I can start the same period, and I can be appointed as senior teacher.
Yes.
Does it make a difference in your pay as a senior teacher?
You do get a difference in pay.
Yes.
I've heard that you get a difference in pay, but the procedure might still take a very long time.
Whew. Okay, and how do you qualify to fall on a certain tier? Well, you just said that it all depends on appointment, basically. Right? Okay, so before I even go into that though, you guys had also said something about you can be teaching at a school for 10 years, then you go to a separate school and you have to start over. So I am teaching now at the greatest high school in Jamaica, the Jamaica College, right? So I am teaching at that school, well prominent school, the best school here, right? And so for instance, now I might move now to St. Elizabeth and I'm teaching at a Stet.
Yes.
So I'm here teaching for 10 years. My pass rates superb. May I get 200,000 of my pay now because maybe no one nice position, maybe, right? All right.
Yeah, the principal.
Alright, so 100,000. So then when I go to the St. Elizabeth Technical High School, I am now starting over.
Basically.
So am I getting less pay when I start over?
You go back to square one.
Go back to the $65,000?
That's the best way to put it. When I left the school in
oh
July,
my God, this is craziness.
I went to the school that I am at now, and I basically started over. I had to start over.
So, who or how can this be addressed? Is it who put this rule in place, anyways? Because this doesn't make any sense to me.
Why it had surprised me was, Troy was my first teaching job right out of college.
Yeah.
So after the 2-year period ended and I started at Roger Clark High School, I thought it would be, like, there's a transfer of things. Troy is in Region 3 and the ministry's office in Region 3 is in Brownstown, St. Anne. But the head office is in Kingston, which has all of my documents already. What I thought would happen was, okay, Mr. McIntyre has started a new school. This is what is. Awesome. Start right over.
So I am, again, because I just wanted to be very clear. So I am teaching for 10 years at one institution, and then I get a transfer to a next for whatever reason. Maybe I never want to leave. Maybe them say I have to transfer somewhere else, and then I transfer to a new school and I have to start over and get $65,000.
And then, Karim, it has happened to some, and there are some that it has not happened to. Say teachers who are on contracts. You can't consider teacher contract money like that.
Okay.
Because if I contract you and I say, okay, you're going to get a set amount per year, and then you start at a new school, the new school contract says you're going to get this amount per year. Right. I cannot start at a $65,000 because at the end of the contract, the money should add up. So if I say, Karim, you're supposed to get $10, you're supposed to get $12 for the year.
Right.
There's no way in the first month I'm going to give you half of $1 because it won't add up.
So I know teachers been complaining from a little boy till now about their pay. What would be a fair salary in your mind? What? I can't really put a monetary value on
because you can't,
on services rendered like that. But what do you think?
Doctors, police, everybody say it's confusing to them that the persons who train us, who teach us to be what we are today, are the ones who receive one of the lowest paying salaries in Jamaica. And that resonated with me from probably about 16, probably just going to college. Like, imagine being a teacher, pushing through doctors, future lawyers, future policemen, soldiers. And we work basically because when I hear that teachers get a summer, we don't really get a summer. We go on standby. I call it standby because if they call you, you have to go.
Call them to do what?
Because you have CIT meetings, you have curriculum planning meetings.
So what if I'm gonna foreign?
Oh, you're not supposed to leave the island. No,
I'm sorry.
Hey, remember, you cannot just get up and just leave the island.
I'm not a JDF. I'm not part of JDF or JCF.
You can't just.
Or whatever. If I don't know.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, but I'm on vacation. I'm on a break.
You're on vacation from what?
From work. From actual teaching.
Did you get a vacation?
So when you guys go on summer breaks, it's not really break?
No, we don't get a break because you have meetings, you have professional development, you have retreats, and your retreats aren't for retreating, it's for working. How are we going? What plans do we have in place at September?
Wow.
So you come back at school September, you think the principal just show something and say, this is what we're going to do now. No, they sat down for months and they go through these things with admin, then admin calls academic is there, they call and sales staff. So everybody is in on it, and September morning, new plans, new regime, everything is up and running.
Wow. So outside of insurance, do you guys get any other benefits? Because I only get life insurance, health insurance, things like that.
Yeah, we get health insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it? So then I get no other benefits at all?
Like what? Which other benefit is there?
I don't know. Look at discount per house, look at discount per...
I mean, with your teachers already, if you go like Maxi and house and style, you can get...
So you get like discount on like cars and And
no, it's not because you're a teacher, but because you're part of the JTA credit union.
Wow. Wow. All right.
So you have to big up the credit union them all the time.
What support does the Ministry of Education offer to teachers outside of their salaries?
Outside of salaries?
Yes. And Brandon, what is MOEYI? What is that exactly? MOEYI. Tell me what does that abbreviation? Okay. So they are responsible for you guys, yes?
Yeah.
So outside of your salaries, what support are you guys getting from the ministry?
But and allow me to use the dialect.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a very comfortable space.
I'll tell you no lie.
Yes.
JTA is doing more.
JTA is doing more than the Ministry
of Education.
What does JTA what are they responsible for?
Union.
Okay.
Right? And this is a union that is working. Constantly working.
So the ministry
from the idea I need till now, JTA has been working.
So the ministry is not really doing much.
Alright, so for instance, it was said that we were supposed to be given resources, certain resources.
Right.
Like tablets, laptops, and stuff like that. A comment was made in Parliament that...
It was reported and I saw it, right, that you guys got...
99% of Jamaica's teachers have received laptops. Waiting on mine.
So were you a part of that 1 percentile?
I should think so.
So other teachers are part of your school got laptops?
No, there's no teacher at my school. Because we had a whole big meeting just laughing about it. We get... And the tablets that we got were from JTA.
Oh. Or maybe those were the tablets that they were issued. Like maybe they issued the tablets to JTA. For JTA to issue the tablets to you guys.
We were supposed to get something increase from 2017 and it came in tablets. One.
Alright. How does the ministry allocate funds to each school? Now, I know that there are traditional schools, there are non-traditional schools. So you teach at a non-traditional school? Yes. So as it relates now to funds allocated per school, how?
I had asked a principal at one point, and I think it's depending on the amount of students at the school.
You said it's based on the numbers of students and the type of school, right?
That's information.
So you're saying that a JCU will get more money versus a Roger Clark?
Yeah, I guess, like, alright, so for instance, a JC has a cohort of 1,000 plus, where Roger Clark would have a cohort of 600.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Because I do understand per student, you would look at it like, having more students would require more resources. But then...
is it fair? Oddly enough, I'm going to say yes.
Right.
Because if we're that small of a school...
They don't need much resources.
Yes.
All right? Okay. How quickly does the ministry reply to queries from the school or teachers?
Never.
So when you guys go on strike and them something like that, what that for? It's just for, for excitement?
They went on a strike in early 2018. Right. 3 days strike, and it came out of our Christmas break. So we're not up on that. Without the strike thing, don't make no sense.
Well, what type of training does the ministry offer teachers? You guys have like additional trainings, like after you leave college, then what? Jump in the classroom?
So for instance, like today, while traveling here, I was in professional development.
What is that?
So every break we have professional development. Since COVID, we've been doing a lot of professional development sessions on maneuvering the online space, mental health within the online space.
That's nice, I like that.
Operating Google Meets.
So they're doing something then? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Would you be in support if the government implemented a teaching license program? So the JTC has suggested this, right? That teachers would have to renew their license in order to continue teaching. A specific time frame weren't given at that particular moment, but they were saying, after a particular time, like say 5 years then for argument's sake, that after 5 years, you would have to renew your license to teach. Would you be in support of that?
That makes sense.
I don't know, I'm not a teacher.
All right, so for instance, you're a doctor. Every 5 years, you have to renew your license. Oh, so we can cut somebody just again. I think that the longer you're in the system, the more experience you gain.
Right.
I don't think you need to go do all of this, because, for instance, when I just started off teaching, the 5E lesson plan was just coming in.
What's that?
So the 5E lesson plan is all E's: elaborate, explain. Yes, it's basically a way to plan your lesson, right? And I was horrible at writing lesson plans. Even throughout college, I wrote good lesson plans, but the 5E was giving me problems.
Right.
Now, to me, not boasting, but I write good 5E lesson plans. And to this day, I'm assisting teachers to write their lesson plans.
Okay.
Because the longer you're in the system, the more experience you gain. So, I'm not care why I'm about to insure myself.
Do you think that the ministry is doing enough for the students?
No, Karim. Definitely not. What
suggestions would you make though? Or what are they not doing?
Me come from country.
Okay.
Period.
Right.
And I'm not going to say because I come from country, we don't have poor schools in Kingston. But the PATH program is a Ministry of Education, Youth and Information thing. And I say PATH is a good thing, right? But it's not enough. And when I got sugarcoat things, certain things, when I believe you can be doing more, I just believe you should do more. PATH is not enough because Karim, when COVID came in, these students who usually depend on the PATH food, what happened to them?
So that now that COVID is here and they're not going to physical schools, you're saying that the PATH program has been discontinued?
So they got the money, and that money was around $10,000.
Per what?
Per student who were on PATH.
Per month?
For what?
I don't know.
For what?
Is it per semester?
That was the one money.
The $10,000 from COVID start?
It was it that I don't want to lie, is it at 10 or 20, and that was it.
Wow.
So what PATH does is basically cover them lunch per day. Right?
Is there any program implemented though by the ministry for like uniforms and for persons who can't afford books and stuff? Because I don't know. I know that PATH assist with your lunch money, like financial things, but
the uniforms and stuff.
Uniforms, books, shoes. No, I don't think it does. But all right. Hey, do you believe that the ministry is out of touch, or the minister herself is also out of touch and speaking from a place of privilege?
Out of touch. She's out of, she said that we were failing, and that's the start of COVID. Karim, I believe, I don't know if you read the Star. The Star did an article about this old lady who, she does not have a whiteboard home.
Right.
She found a blackboard and put it in the community. Not in a community center, but in the middle of the community. Using chalk. Teaching. And then the ministry.
So you guys don't use chalk anymore? I left school a long time.
I understand them so
I really know we left school a long time. And back in my days, we used chalk and blackboard. But you're saying that, so, because here's my thing, right? And I don't even want to waste so much time on that particular subject. But for me personally, and I've seen this, that the traditional schools get more perks for being traditional schools. Like the resources, the upkeep of the school, things like that. So if your school wants funding, like to fix somewhere or to like open a center or whatever, does this come from fundraising at the school or comes from the ministry? Okay. So does the ministry offer any additional assistance for like resources purposes?
I won't say yes, I won't say no. Right. Something like that I'll be unsure. I know that estates like Appleton gave stuff and other third-party organizations.
Because what I'm thinking about is...
we just pitchy.
Because what I'm thinking about, right? Going to JC back in my time was not like JC right now.
Okay.
But JC now is more modern. Like the track field and, the basketball court, tennis court. I mean, we do have...
So you have a track field.
Right, we have a stadium, we have Bwoyatingz.
And there are schools.
We have like a Bwoyatingz IT room.
Schools back there. My side that we have a field is not a track field.
Do you guys have like a computer room like for IT students,
Yeah, man,
like a lot of computers and stuff like
We
that?
have a computer room.
You have a lot of computers?
Computer room.
But you don't have the computers.
So I won't say you hear what you said, we have computer rooms.
Right, so you have one.
A computer room.
What about like the sciences? Like do you have like
We have a
labs?
science lab.
One lab. For how many students again?
We have a 600, say around 600, could be more.
So then that means that a lot of students are now crammed into one particular... God. Oh Lord. So who do you speak to for things like those though? Like who, for like recommendations? Because for me, and you know, I've said it, politicians in general are sometimes disconnected from the reality of things.
They have to do this.
And that's why they have advisors. But are the advisors not advising them? Because
are the advisors coming into the school?
that is my thing. Because then I said, you don't, or it's kind of impossible to visit every single school in Jamaica, but it's not, no, it's not impossible. It can be done. Because we don't have that much schools here
Each
anyways.
school has a regional office.
Right.
Every say, all right, as far as Chilani is from St. Anne,
Yeah.
there's a regional office. How I used to travel to Brownstone,
Right.
4 taxis from where I was teaching, because I'm going to a whole different parish. So if them want reach, them reach, Karim.
Right.
If me I travel there just to go let off one paper,
Yeah.
you who have your car and all, can just go check by house.
Right, because I think that, you know, in a 4-year period of you being in charge of a whole ministry,
Yeah.
I think these problems are problems that we've been having from, I know myself. So I think that these things could have been corrected from both parties, by the way.
Yes.
Let me just say that. From both political parties, these issues could be fixed. I don't see how you can have one science lab, one computer room for a school like with 600 odd
The
students.
school was renamed Roger Clark
Right.
just a few years ago. And we were gifted a 6th form block
Right.
around that same time. So that's just a few years ago. So you know that.
So you never about 6 form block all this time. So a lot of the schools like who are more traditional schools, like they're sitting in a place of privilege.
Yes, and when it was said recently that education is going to be a 7-year program, I looked into it and said, how many schools are left to start a 6th form program? Because
God.
not all schools have the 6th.
So them do with the 6th form people, them just leave after 5th form and don't come back? Yeah? Okay, you know, we'll move on. So we're going to go to working conditions, right? Do you believe that there are adequate resources at every school?
No.
Clearly not.
Definitely not.
For your school in particular, can you tell me just 2 things that can be fixed, or that needs to be fixed, I should say? Well, one would have been
There's so
the labs.
There's so much.
Yeah.
All right, you see, spacing is a problem right now. All right, so for instance, I have been realizing that there's a lot of smart boards in different schools.
Right.
My school has one smart board, right?
What is a smart board?
So it's a board that, say I'm projecting something on it, I have smart markers. Whenever this is done projecting, everything goes away. You can actually move the board with your hand. Stuff like that. You want interactive stuff like that for children who are kinesthetic learners. Who, if them don't touch it, them can't learn.
Right.
So you want things, Karim, especially for the teachers. God, they gave us a tablet. Yes, thank God it's COVID time. We have to use the tablet to teach class. Yes, and the tablet, according to JTA, is not for you teaching the class. This is for you. This is the thing that you should have gotten from 2017.
So teachers are given like notebooks, pens, things like that.
We receive our registers at the starting of the school year, and we get markers at the starting of the
Is
school
it adequate amount? Is it an adequate
If you want
amount?
marker, you go buy a marker.
So you have to buy that out of your pocket?
Yeah, I buy a marker.
Out of your pocket?
I get 2 at the starting of the school year.
2 markers?
I know schools that give teachers 2 markers each month. Yeah. But, and schools that give you per semester.
So that responsibility would fall under the ministry as well, yeah?
Everything.
And you get 2 markers to teach 3 grades, okay, it's grade 7, 8, and 9,
Yeah.
for the entire school year.
And say
2
you-
markers, and the markers would have to come out of your pocket.
Yeah, you go buy a marker.
I never teach, not school here, I never get a marker. Yeah, but not ask guys. What's the minimum and maximum sessions you're allowed to work?
Per week?
Yeah.
Right, I do. No. I know teachers have up to 13 sessions.
13 sessions per week?
Yeah, I'm doing 8.
Oh, when I said sessions.
I'm doing 8 because currently, wait on the 8, I have 9. Currently now I have 9. And
So when I said sessions, it's like, how many per day is that then?
I will have 3 per day.
3 per day.
You have teachers, sorry. You have teachers who have 4 per day, 2 per day.
So 3 per day, and how many students per session?
My biggest class is 45.
45 people in one class. So there's 45 kids in one class that you are teaching what per hour, and you teach what? English language.
Yeah, English language, English literature, literacy. Same thing, reading.
So 45.
And then it's harder online because it's not like media dialect again, but not all my students have Wi-Fi. Not all my students.
You also get to that one because yeah.
But in class, in a physical class, I spoke about this on one of the spaces. Apps coaches, or in special ed schools, they have shadow teachers.
So explain to us what the apps thing is. You spoke about it before, but just tell us.
Alternative pathway, secondary education coach. Now, I am a person like that, where I provide assistance to the teachers. I am a student supporter, right? But I provide assistance to the teachers. I will go look through those lesson plans to ensure that differentiation is taking place. So St. Martin, kinesthetic learner, Karim audio learner, I have to ensure that your activities are catering to both learners, and that if you're going to need help during this lesson, while you're working with the kinesthetic, I can be working with the audio. And while the lesson is going on, I'm ensuring that this child is learning at the speed that we need the lesson to be going on. Because currently I have a class of 45 picnic, all of we now learn the same speed. That hard. Because Martin might not get it. How you not get it?
I want to about me, I'm gonna not get it.
And if it's a chalk and talk teacher.
Yeah. No, man, one thing I understand exactly where you're coming from, because I mean me, and if any one of my teachers or past teachers are watching this, you know, for me, I'm a fast learner, but me in particular, I want you to go down in every detail, right? So here on out, I am going to maybe take the chalk, and maybe I'll go up on the board myself, and I want to work the problem for myself, and I want you to come directly to me and give me undivided attention.
Exactly.
But I mean, I've carried that over into my personal life, but we move, you know. Undivided attention is very important. So while I have 40 other children, and I'm coming to your desk, maybe there for 5-10 minutes.
Yes.
This now a takeaway from the other. So 40 odd people in a class, like what would be the ideal number per class?
Karim, the ideal number per class is 15. And
15?
It is impossible. I'm going to say it's impossible because it's not a center catered to that type of learning. It's a school, right? You know, you have different institutes who have 15 to 17 children per class, so the teacher can just walk through.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And I can see you, and you.
Yeah.
So this is why I know you have so many private centers being open.
Yeah.
Where I can tutor you one-on-one.
How does an overcrowded class affect both the teachers and the students?
Teachers have to mark all of these stuff. And there, Karim, I want to say this, and this is from a human's point of view.
Right.
Teachers are emotionally connected to a lot of their students.
Right.
Even if you don't want to be. You see, especially if you meet a student who wants to learn.
I mean.
But does not have the resources to learn.
But you're not me.
So you might have a student who is bright.
Yeah.
But you come to school Monday, then Thursday again, Friday, and then you talk to them and say, oh, miss, I don't have the money to come to school. Day.
Yeah.
So you get mentally attached to these students.
Yeah.
Imagine getting mentally attached to 45. Marking 45 books. You might bright and then you have a next one not so bright. So you're up 1 second, you're down the other. And then teachers sometimes get pressured. So say, okay, we're going to do a project. Let's group you guys. And then probably a grouping wrong. Because say, for instance, I have an audio, kinesthetic, visual. I say, I'm going to put you in groups. And not all teachers take the learning styles into context.
Right.
So a teacher might just put a bag of visual learner in one group.
Yeah.
And that may help.
How can we fix this overcrowding problem? I'm gonna know what your answer going to be. When you answer that question, then I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. So yeah, how can I fix it?
Should I say more schools? Should I?
More schools?
I honestly at this point.
Or should it be more teachers?
More teachers.
But then if the ministry cannot see the follow-up question, so if the ministry can't pay you right now. No, but even if they can't even raise your pays, how are they going to employ more teachers?
They're not going to. I have had colleagues who, after their quote-unquote 8 months were up and they were doing exceptional in their schools. I have a friend right now who she was at a school she was supposed to be at the school for 4 months. And to how well she was doing, they brought her on for another 4 months. Right. And then when COVID started, they said, okay, any teacher that is not on permanent staff
has to leave.
You have to leave, no matter how good you are going.
So, is there a fix then to the overcrowding problem? Because we don't always have students going to school. So I can't say less students.
And then especially at the schools who have a lower pass rate.
Right.
And just fling all of them there.
Okay.
So you have a bag of students who are reading.
And there's no fix.
Under the 40% threshold. And they say, okay, let's group them all in Karim High School.
So is there a fix to the overcrowding problem?
No matter what, I'm going to say this, and this is personal. I don't think anything that I have suggested or other people have suggested. I have heard my former principals cuss about this.
Right.
And this is something they say they go to meetings and talk about, and not no fix, Karim.
Do you think that the government can afford to do more?
Can afford?
Financially?
Can afford?
I don't know.
The government?
I don't know.
Them short of money?
I'm not a part of the government sector, so I don't know. I'm just a podcaster, you know?
Also, then Karim, I believe that much more can be done.
Much more can be done?
Much more can be done.
Okay. Are you overworked?
Am I overworked?
Yes.
Especially with online school, yes.
Yes. Would you be able to tell us quickly the details of your job description? You spoke about the apps thing. You touched on it, saying that you deal with students who learn slow. I don't want to use that terminology, but yes.
No, they do learn slow.
Okay.
We don't use the terminology done.
Right.
They are slow learners.
Okay.
They're slow learners. So we are literally student support. Mm-hmm. We are all for the students. So we come up with every initiative, every idea, anything to make that student learn. Yeah. Anything that Karim, if I even go outside, go take up stick.
Yeah.
If that's how you're going to learn, that's how you're going to learn.
I mean, I was one of those students.
So if you're the student where I realize that within that 45, you're not going to learn, during that class time, I'm going to say to the teacher, I'm going to pull this student. And this is what we do. Me and you can in the class, but you learn faster. So I pull you and I bring you to a room. I catch you up to speed. Next class, you're going back inside.
Okay, right.
Or working again.
Okay, love that. Mm-hmm. Love that. How much hours goes into a lesson plan though? Like, I know lesson planning is very tedious.
So lesson planning for me can take 2 hours.
Per day? Per week?
No. One lesson plan
can take 2 hours.
You have to factor in every student.
Yeah.
You have to factor in every student. No, a colleague of mine came up with a department lesson plan. No, it's not one lesson plan. It's where the department and the coaches plan together. And oddly enough, this was yesterday, and we sat for 4 hours doing one lesson plan for just one grade.
4 hours.
This was 6 teachers. It's not that we're not good at what we're doing, but we want to ensure that it is effective when it's being taught. So you have to put everything into mind, differentiation strategies, the strands of learning,
Right.
everybody, because if a lesson plan should be done in such a way that you, Karim, as a non-teacher, if you take up the lesson plan,
And I can understand.
you can teach the class.
Right.
It should be that simply.
Right. All right. Wow. What kind of support does the school administration gives to teachers?
The admin staff, like the principal and the VP, everything.
Yeah.
I can vouch for my school.
Okay. Yes, please.
I can vouch for my school. My acting principal now, because the principal who was there, he's on leave. She and him, they've been doing
Right. Great things.
They
Okay.
do well. They're all for the staff and their students. They ensure that every little thing that they can do, it is done.
Okay. Love that.
So we can't.
All right, so we're kind of pressed for time, and I wanted to go into two different things. I wanted to go into the COVID-19 pandemic thing that is happening right now, which is crazy, and I can't imagine how many students are affected by this. If you've listened to my radio show, you know I'm very passionate about this part especially. And then I want to talk about teachers' efforts, but we're going to see if we can quickly just run through the questions, all right? So for me personally, and I've been saying this, that whilst we're trying to save as many lives with COVID-19 and mitigating the spreading of the virus in itself, I do think that the students, the children who are going to school are at a major disadvantage, especially the ones in rural communities, especially the ones in communities, I would say the lower class students. And that is just my issue for me. I don't think that the ministry is doing enough for them, right? So as quickly as possible, how has been the student attendance since the pandemic?
Even online school poor.
Right.
Karim, I have 2 students turning up for class.
2 students per class.
There's no reason to go around it. Sometimes you have, the other day we basically had a watch party because I joined the teacher's class because my class was empty. So it was me and she and this, we were just sitting there looking at each other, waiting at any student to buzz in. And we will stay for the entire 45.
So is it because the students don't want to come, or is it because they don't have the resources to come?
Karim, all right, speaking my thing again, my standpoint. Where I am, rural area, Karim, and everybody can afford Wi-Fi. And everybody can get Wi-Fi.
Right.
I remember the other day a child said, "Sir, ministry so must use Google Meets. This student is using data. Sign on Google Meets. I am there 4 minutes into the meeting, child gone. Call him, so sir, my data done."
Right. Because they don't have no Wi-Fi.
No Wi-Fi.
And what about those who don't even have the resources?
The resources, because
like the laptops and the phones and the things.
Out some tablets.
How many
and
tablets?
These were from the JWN Foundation.
Right.
Giving the tablets is one.
Yeah, but then another Wi-Fi.
Thank you.
So then the ministry hasn't done anything in particular for... I know that we weren't prepared in any sector for COVID, but now COVID has been here now for 2 years, right? So is there any plans to, especially, my heart goes out once again to the rural communities and the persons in the low tax brackets. Mm-hmm. Is there anything being said? Is there any plans being made? Have you heard anything? By the ministry?
I'm not hearing anything.
You're not hearing anything?
Or anything concrete, anything sensible, anything that will be happening anytime soon.
So for the students who are not able to log on, how do you reach these students then? Because...
Karim, as I said, my principal goes out of his way. We have a town cry.
Yeah.
A town cry followed by visits. Where we put on our masks and we have sanitizer, we jump in a bus and car. We went and we visit the students. We would, how are you doing? And in the same breath, we gave them their assignments. Because we have to find a way to reach out while doing our jobs.
So the ministry has not implemented anything to the schools to say, can you follow this protocol? Right. So in case the students are not coming to school, we can reach them by this. They have not said anything at all as it relates to that?
I believe that the ministry can, I believe the ministry can partner with Flow and Digital to make certain sites accessible. Students, to me, you must can create something where I can talk to my students and my data not done.
Right.
WhatsApp is not a means of communication for a teacher and a student because that can cause problems.
Right.
I should not be teaching my classes through WhatsApp.
Right.
I form WhatsApp groups with my students. I should not be saying, okay, class, turn to this. It don't make no sense. I don't believe that they're doing anything. I believe that schools on their own are coming up with measures.
Right. I was about to ask you that question because the minister, she had mentioned that not enough effort is being made by the school and by extension the teachers to reach students who are not showing up for classes. So we basically touched on that just now, but you're saying that you guys, you're doing enough, but the ministry is not doing enough.
Me myself, I push out.
Yeah.
More than ministry right now.
Yeah.
I've seen teachers drive from, give everybody like mile gully to Balaclava just to see students.
Yeah.
Right? I have seen teachers jump out of them house, just go give students money if you go put on credit
daytime, yeah.
And I have gone as far as to have students in my garage. Yeah, tutoring, so you can have Wi-Fi, connect to the Wi-Fi and do your work.
All right, I have so much more questions, but I'm just dumbfounded by all of this right now. The last one as it relates to COVID, I have a couple more questions, but guys, I might have a part 2 of this, or I'm going to take it to my radio show. How badly has the student performance plummeted since COVID?
Bad. If you checked the CSEC results that came out today.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look on the Gleaner site, it is horrible. And especially last year we were doing so well in English. We were in the 80s. We have plummeted to the low 70s. HNS bio is in its 60s, and that's something that our science students usually mash up.
Right.
We are 60. And I guess because we can do practical labs and stuff, we have plummeted.
Right, because then I'm not even thinking about, okay, so then you teaches the literatures, right?
What other subjects are failing?
But then I'm looking at it like, what about what do you call them again?
The vocational areas?
Yeah. Like, how are you going to teach me online?
They're not being reached. I think there are probably schools who have the students come over.
Come over where?
To the schools. I don't know. Karim, at this point, I don't know.
Yeah, like for instance, like what about the students who want to be like mechanics, and what about the subjects who are based in labs, like the chemistries and the biologies? How am I going to learn? So the ministry has not put anything in place. I just want to just reiterate that point. You've not heard anything, so you don't know if things are being put in place currently, but you just not have heard anything.
That's it. I haven't heard anything.
Love that. We're 2 years in.
I am end up seeing my students on the road working instead of being at school.
So teachers' efforts. Martin, can you just remind me how long we're gone? All right. So teachers' efforts, right? I hosted a space the other day, and I was a part of a space, and we were talking about the same things, and it was a very emotional one. A couple of the teachers who were there, like you guys, were even breaking down. You know, it was very, it got very emotional. I know that you spoke to me the other day that you did something for a couple of your students where you gave them a couple items.
You give what you can, because in my area, Karim, and everybody have it.
Right.
And in every school, there is going to be 1 to 3 students who just don't have it.
Yeah.
Right? So if I can buy an extra bag of flour, I'm going to buy it.
Out of your own pocket?
Out of my own pocket.
How much of your salary goes to getting things for students pre-COVID and during COVID?
This is a must for me. Because you have a set of students who don't have it. So you dish out, like I said, $10,000.
So you put aside $10,000 out of your personal salary.
You're trying to help.
To help these students.
Because if they don't come to school, they're going to end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
If they're not doing something constructive, they're going to do something else. Karim, I have had 3 students die who have passed on since COVID.
Is it because of
and
COVID?
It's not COVID.
Yeah.
Bike, river, all sorts of stupidness. Girls in my class who I had high hopes for are pregnant, have baby. Students who are in second form, smoking. Them stop coming from school. They have no guidance at home because mommy gonna shop from morning to work. So if I can get you 45 minutes online, I feel like me I do so much better than me see you 45 minutes at the go to handle.
So when you take $10,000 out of the pay that you're not even getting, are you being reimbursed any at all?
From who? I'm not asking for help.
Yeah.
From ministry. They say that we need to do more, and this is our way of doing more, because teachers, educators are not just teachers and educators. We're parents, we are doctors, we are police, because the amount of fight we have to break up, the amount of cuts we have to fix up. We do so much. So yeah.
Are you being well, no, clearly not. Why is the school unable to provide the things that the teachers request? And this was sent in by Shari, by the way. So
money.
The school does not have it.
The school have a budget too. And you can't go over your budget.
How involved are you in your students' life? I know that you are very involved.
Right now, probably too much.
Too much involved.
Because when I just started teaching at this school that I am at now, I brought them out with I joined the choir, brought them into all together sing.
The first time they were coming to Kingston.
First time they were coming to town to come do something like that. Brought them to dancing dynamites, the mash-up dancing dynamites, any form of exposure they got through to finals for JCDC, any form of exposure. And I want them to see, and a lot of teachers do this, I want them to see you not just as an educator who just want, whether or not you learn, still again. You want them to see as a human.
So you go above and beyond.
So you go above and beyond. For these students at the long run, they're going to come back and say, sorry, thanks, and a thanks goes a long way.
So you brought them to Kingston for the first time, and I know that they were...
It was a whole vibe for them. They enjoyed themselves.
And they were very excited for that. Wow. Do you take home some of these burdens with you? Like, you've stated that, you've taken money out of your pockets to help. $10,000 per month, by the way, out of monies that you're barely even getting. And the extra effort that you go to ensure that your students are learning or coming to school, and buy things for them and stuff like that. The burdens, it must resonate in your mind sometimes when you go home. Does it?
Yes, because, well, it's subconscious. You're not going to necessarily feel, you're not going to necessarily, okay, I am going to go home and think about this. But if you see a student, Karim, and the student doesn't have it today, or you just see a student and she's without lunch, you feel away, you're going to sit down, you're going to think about certain things, and yes, it really does. Or a student with a tear up school bag, vibes like them stuff that them resonate within your head.
Yeah. All right. Oh, God. So, is it worth it, though, at the end of the day?
Definitely.
Yeah, but then you're going through things where a country like Jamaica, they don't appreciate teachers.
Yeah.
You guys have been overlooked a lot of times, and that's the reason, I've done the episode with nurses, talking about the, health sector. And, that's the reason I've always been speaking out about, teachers and the ministry in which you guys fall under, just throw you guys by the wayside. So all of that, and then the rigorous teaching procedures and schedules and that all bag of excitement, plus you don't get paid. For me, I love what I do, right? And I say this all the time, that a lot of things, people don't understand how much sacrifices I put into my craft. But I continue to do it because I love it. But is teaching worth it, though? Because for me, I don't have to be appreciated by any sector. I can work for myself. But for whom you report to, they barely appreciate what you guys are doing.
We don't work for them.
Right.
Basically, we work for the students.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I feel happy when my student pass. Regardless of the pass mark of the school or whatever university they get into, I just want to ensure that they are comfortable with themselves at the end of the day, that I did my best.
Yeah.
And I always say, yes, your best is good enough. Once they have achieved something that this can be recognizable, this can be used in the future, and this will propel you to greater things, I am 100% comfortable. I am happy. I love my job.
Yeah.
Period. It is rewarding.
Yeah.
Has it rewards, especially when you see how like one of your students turn out to be something big, as the whole thing where my student is now he's now a soldier, and he stopped me at a Zozo and he recognized it was me. That was a very that was emotional, you know.
Just I can imagine. So you basically do it, you know, just because you love.
I love it.
You love it.
Love the students.
All right. So that should be it, guys. I might have to do a part 2 because this is a lot of questions that I still have to ask. Definitely. Or I might bring it over to my radio show. So Macky, before you go though, can you just tell us where we can follow your business page to assist with the tutoring and things like that?
All right. So follow Scripted Jamaica on Instagram at Scripted JA. You can follow them on Twitter and Facebook at Scripted Jamaica. And we will definitely help with the assignments, the resumes, everything at an affordable cost.
Very affordable. Very
People
affordable.
Cheap bad.
Yeah, man, I can say that. Yeah.
Right? We cheap bad.
Yeah. Definitely.
Some of the best teachers, some of the best writers, and we cheap bad.
I love that. All right, guys. So this is the episode. You know, this concludes our discussion. I must say, you know, thank you, sir, for leaving all the way from St. Elizabeth to come here. I appreciate it. You know, I have always been big on appreciating our service providers, no matter whom it is. I'm always big on, you know, giving people their flowers while they're alive. And a lot of us, I think that we don't appreciate things or people until it's too late, you know. So I must applaud and I must commend all of the teachers, every educator that literally takes their job very, very seriously, and their main aim is to ensure that the students, right, are getting what they deserve. And I love that. So, you know, thank you guys so much. Thank you for all years of service. I must applaud you all once again. Once again, guys, my radio show is on a Tuesday on New Start 93 FM, 8 to 11 p.m. I must say thank you guys for the support. Remember, Cattleya Perfect 10, they're relocating to Southdale Plaza on the 27th. That's them big relocation and party and excitement. I'll be there, definitely, actual factual. So you understand what I say? Can come drink, get a look at things, and get discounts on your services. Remember, also they have from the 23rd to the 30th of October. 50% off all procedures. You understand? So, and you can also link them for that. And remember, this location at Leganite Post Mall, they are actually renting out the booths and the office spaces or whatever it is that you want to use it for. So you can reach out to them and they will, you know, we'll get all the details and stuff like that. Until next time, we have 2 more episodes left, guys. So, you know, big up on yourself and thank you so much for the immense support. I am grateful. All right. So until next time, my name is Bwoyatingz. This was Bwoyatingz podcast. Thank you, guys.